I'm gonna go out on a limb and say no divorces in 99!
Every year we set new goals, and running is one that many try to take on. Unfortunately, most people give it up by February. If you want to make running a habit, not just a phase, here are 5 things that actually helped me stay consistent. And now I'm running further, faster, and enjoying training more than ever. Think in weeks, not years. The problem with New Year's resolutions is in the name, New Year's. People frame New Year's resolutions as something that should involve the entire year. However, I don't think that's a particularly great approach to starting a new habit like running. A year is too abstract. You can give yourself excuses. If you don't do it in January, you can tell yourself that you're going to do it in February. I don't think that's a very good setup, and for me, it definitely helps to think differently. What you need to do is reframe the goal. Shrink the timeline down from a year to months to weeks. Not days, that's a bit too small. Just do weeks. Having a weekly target rather than a yearly one is a lot more manageable. You can see the finish line every 7 days. When you're able to see yourself progressing and succeeding, that stacks up, and then you're way more likely to carry on that momentum rather than just having the whole year in front of you. Say you tell yourself in 2026 or whatever year you're watching this, that I want to run more. One, I'd suggest making your goal a little bit more specific. Take that, I want to run 1,000 kilometers this year. That still, I think, is too vague. Shrink it down to I want to run 20 kilometers this week. Not 20 kilometers every week, because trust me, life will get in the way. You will not be able to do 20 kilometers every week unless you're very, very lucky and disciplined. But for 99.9% of the world, it's not going to happen. So I suggest just 20 kilometers this week and focusing on that. If you have it framed in weeks, it's a lot less mental resistance to starting. If you miss a day, don't panic, you've got the rest of the week. If you miss a week, it's okay. The goal starts again next Monday. It's not if you don't get it, the whole year is ruined. Just take it 1 week at a time. You want running to become this occasional fun habit. You don't want it to be a huge event, because you're going to big it up too much in your mind and you're probably going to find excuses to not do it. You're either going to freeze up or you're going to say, I can't do this, I give up. Just break it down. Little and often is the key. It really is just in the consistency. You're not aiming to be a runner this year. You're aiming to be a runner this week. Chase the habit, not the finish line. Most people get into running because they have a finish line in mind. That could be breaking a PB, running a certain distance, completing a race. Whatever it is, when you have that in your head, you think, as soon as I achieve that thing, I will be happy. I can tell you now, that is not the case. To use my journey to a sub 25k as an example, I trained for a little over 11 months to complete that goal. I went from not running at all to now being able to consistently run a sub 25k. And let me tell you, the most joy I got from the whole experience was not on race day. The day I actually completed my PB was quite anticlimactic. The joy of running comes from the training. A nice easy run early in the morning when it's quiet and the sun is rising. Completing a session that you didn't feel like doing when you woke up, but after you finished you were very, very proud of yourself and you went into the rest of the day in a great mood. The finish lines in running are rare. 99.9% of the runs you do will not be in races, they will be in training. It will be pouring with rain, you'll be absolutely knackered and you won't want to do it. So what I suggest you do is redefine what success is. A successful week in running is not the week where you smashed your PB. That is obviously great, but what you want to tell yourself is that a successful week is the week where you showed up to every single training session. Those training sessions could all be bad, but if you showed up, that is where it really counts. You need this habit to carry you when the motivation goes. You don't want to be obsessively fixed on this arbitrary goal that you set yourself. Plus, as a bonus, chasing those habits, the PBs and the results come as a byproduct. If you want to make running stick this year, it is not about the finish line. It is just about showing up each week and trying to enjoy it, because most of the running will be training. So try to enjoy that bit. Please, I promise you it will be so much easier if you just embrace the pain of training. It is the actual fun part and you will learn to love it. It just takes some time. Run easy, run more. A common misconception that I had before I started running, and what I know a lot of other people have, is that they believe that when anyone goes on a run, that they are exhausted when they get home. The fact of the matter is, most runs should be easy. It should be something called Zone 2, which is all about your heart rate. Pretty much the majority of your runs should be like this, at a conversational pace. Sorry, it's quite windy, but the reason that is done is because it builds your aerobic base. The point of it is that your engine improves if you run slower constantly. Let's say your easy pace is 6 minutes per kilometre. If you train for 24 weeks and it goes down to 5:30 per kilometre, your easy runs are faster, and as a side effect of that, you're also a lot faster on race day. Just run easy, it's good. It makes runs a lot more manageable when 60% of them aren't excruciatingly painful. Keep training interesting. Bridging on from the last point, that most runs should be easy. Easy runs will build your aerobic base, but if you were to constantly do easy runs, it will get dull. The problem is that boredom kills consistency a lot faster than difficulty does. If you do the same loop, the same pace, the same run, you're just going to become so disengaged with training that you will give it up. My solution, keep the base simple, but add some variety on top, like some nice cherries on top of your aerobic base. Some ways to mix it up include interval training, hill sprints, long runs, tempo runs, threshold runs, backwards runs, I don't know, figure it out. Run new routes, run different terrain, run in different countries, just run all the time, mix it up, just make sure you've got that aerobic base. For this, I'd really suggest getting something like a Garmin or a Fitbit. They can be expensive, but if you really do want to get into running, I think they are definitely worth the investment. They give you data that you can track. You can run in Zone 2, plus they often suggest interval workouts and help with all of that. And when I first started intervals, I had no idea what I was doing. This little thing here really did help me out. So it's an important balance. You want that variety so that the consistent training doesn't become too boring. But always make sure the easy runs stay easy so that the hard workouts are intentional. Run for something bigger than you. When you wake up in the morning and it is chucking it down with rain, you're freezing cold, you're knackered from a hard day of work before, you have a hard day of work ahead of you, you really don't want to be running, I often find a great way to find the motivation to get out and do it is that if you're running for something bigger. I have recently started fundraising for the amazing Francis House Children's Hospice, and now on the days of training where it is really, really miserable and I don't want to be doing it, I know that I'm doing it for a greater reason. It actually gives me a lot of perspective. The children and families at Francis House are experiencing far more difficult challenges than me waking up early and going for a run. It just changes my mindset. I don't go, oh, I have to run. Instead, I shift to, I get to run and I get to raise money and I get to try and make people proud and make myself proud. There's so many reasons. When you're doing it for something bigger than you can zoom out, change your perspective. This one could be the biggest one. Therefore, I would highly suggest fundraising for a charity, signing up for a race. If you do that, you're stuck. If you've got a race in 6 months, you have to train. You've signed the contract, you've got to do it. If you like this video and want to see more of me, I document all of my runs in my training for a sub 40 10K. If you want to go check it out, I'll put a video up here for you to click on. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please do consider subscribing. With the new year, I want to try keep building the channel 1 week at a time. If you show any support, that really does mean a lot to me. Cheers, and good luck with the running.